Well, hey, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. And in this video, I want to talk to you about being stuck. You could be stuck in your business, your life, your job, your relationship, or just stuck within yourself, right? That's kind of what I was feeling today. I'm stuck within myself. It's gray, it's wet, it's cold. I don't feel like doing much. But then I listened to this video and I thought, this is a great message to share because it can help those of us who, like me, sometimes get stuck. I'm going to share with you 7 ways that you could be stuck and how to get unstuck so you can get on with the business of living. And with that being said, I am Cecelia Morris, also known as the Digital Marketing Maven, and I teach business owners how to build their brand and their business online using automation, AI, and Facebook so you can make some cash online as well. And wherever you're watching me, give me some likes, some love, drop a comment, share this video with someone who needs to see it. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and click that bell so you can notify whenever I post a new video. And I'm awfully greasy, show. All right, so let's get into it. So why am I stuck? Well, today I'm stuck because it's wet, it's gray, it's cold. We're in that weird season where it's warm during the day and cooler at night, and just the rain just doesn't help. And I just really didn't feel like doing anything. But like I said, I was listening to this video from Myron Golden because I always like to share my source, and I thought this would be really good to share because it made me get unstuck and do this video for you today. So he gave 7 ways you're stuck, and then I'm going to give you my own personal examples on my life experience on how to get unstuck. So the first lesson that we have for getting unstuck is to find out what you don't know. And you're like, well, if I don't know, how do I find out what I don't know? Well, the easiest way to find out what you don't know is to try to do something. Do what you can up until the point you can't do anything else, right? So, for instance, with me, and my treadmill. I'm not going to make this about business, but some of them will be. But for this one, it's my treadmill. So I have this Cadillac treadmill. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you might have heard me talk about it. It's got all the bells and whistles, iFit membership, everything that comes with it. But it's great for cardio, but it's terrible for strength training. Why? Because the way I have my treadmill positioned in my room and the screen doesn't swivel, it's really hard for me to do the strength training exercises with iFit. So I can resign myself to do cardio, which is great because cardio is good. It helps one of my cholesterol levels. I don't know which one, the bad or the good, but walking helps one of them. So that's really good. But I'm starting to lose weight and I'm noticing I'm getting a little flabby because of the weight that I'm losing. So the only way that I can tighten up is to do strength training. So I could be stuck with, what am I going to do? I can't do the strength exercises with iFit on my treadmill because I can't turn the screen to see what I'm doing. Or I can learn what I didn't know. So what did I do? I purchased something that's going to help me do strength training that doesn't involve my treadmill. I got a Pilates machine, an at-home Pilates machine. And let me tell you, baby, that 15 minutes of Pilates is just as hard as the 30 minutes that I do on the treadmill. So anyway, lessons that you haven't learned. What is it that you don't know that you need to know to get unstuck? So if I want to get rid of my back wings, I'm gonna have to do something to get unstuck. And that's why I bought the Pilates machine. So think about that. That's the first thing. What do you know? What don't you know that you need to know to get to the next level? Lessons you haven't learned. So go out there and find those lessons and start taking action to learn what you don't know. Another reason why you're stuck is because you could be avoiding sorry, I'm looking at my notes. You've been avoiding the work that you know you need to do. So when it comes to my weight, now I've had this treadmill, which I'm ashamed to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, since 2022. If I had been serious 3 years ago, I would be at my goal weight today. But I'm constantly avoiding the work that I don't want to do. So in 2024, I made a commitment. Or was it 20? No, it was 24. 2024, I made a commitment to myself, or maybe it was 23. Doesn't matter. I said that I'm going to use my treadmill at least half the month. If I don't use it half the month, then I'm selling it. And I got a funny story about me selling it. I'm going to digress for a little bit. But once I got serious, then I started to see results. I was almost 300 pounds. I mean, I was over 300 pounds when I started this journey. So what you see today is a process of my commitment to myself and my treadmill. Funny story. So when I decided I was going to either work out half the month or sell my treadmill, I listed it on Facebook Marketplace and I got a message from someone that said they were interested in it. So I was like, okay, they asked me where I live. I'm like, I live here. And they asked me how much. I said it's already posted. It was a lot because technically at this point it was still kind of a new treadmill since I hadn't used it that much. And then I asked what time are they coming so that way I could arrange for the Clayton police to be here so they don't bop me up the head and take my treadmill and not pay me, right? Because here in my neighborhood, you can call the police for those type of exchanges. So they'll be there to make sure that nobody bop me upside the head. They ghosted me after that. So I guess they plan to bop me upside the head. But more importantly, I committed to doing half the month every month, and I've been doing that consistently. No, I'm not cutting out food. No, I'm not cutting out liquor. But what I am doing is committing to half of every month, getting on that treadmill and doing some work. And now I'm doing Pilates too. But anyway, it's the work you've been avoiding to do. What is it that you're avoiding because you just don't want to do it, right? That's part of the reason why you're stuck because you're not doing what you know you need to do. And then the next one is there are thoughts that you just don't want to think about, right? So it'd be really easy for me to shut the door to the room with the treadmill because I don't really go in there for anything anyway. It's like a spare closet for me. It's not really a room that I use. And I also didn't want to think about the fact that I had spent over $3,000 on this treadmill and I was hardly ever using it. But once I got serious about thinking about one, my health, two, my confidence, because I feel more confident when I'm smaller. I mean, your girl's got hella confidence, but let me tell you, there was a time where I would walk in the room and the men all pause, and I need that back. And I'm only going to get it when I feel good about my own skin. I feel good about being here, being alive. I feel good about the fact that I have beautiful teeth, a great smile, and that God has blessed me in so many ways that I can't even begin to tell you what they are. But the fact of the matter is that treadmill was a $3,000 clothes rack until I started thinking about the fact that if I want to start dating again, then I want to be as attractive to my mate as the mate that I want to attract. Am I saying that right? I started thinking about, again, walking into rooms and having that confidence. I remember when I used to be able to go to the store and buy anything off the rack without thinking twice. Now I got to take 7 pairs of jeans to the dressing room only to find 2 that actually fit, right? So I had to start thinking about the stuff I wasn't thinking about if I wanted to get serious about changing where I am in my health and wellness journey, right? So number 3 is you got to think about the things that you've been avoiding, the things, not just the work that you've been avoiding, but the thoughts that you don't think about because you don't want to think about them because they bring up things that you just don't want to think about. Got it? Good. Number 4, having the conversation that you've been reluctant to have. So I had to have a conversation, 1 with myself and 2 with my accountability partner. The conversation that I need to have with my accountability partner was the hardest because they weren't holding me accountable. And our accountability partners are supposed to be the people who are going to pull our coattails and be like, listen here, sis, you're not doing what you said you're going to do, and I'm tired of hearing your excuses. And if you're going to keep giving me excuses, then I'm gonna quit listening to them. But that wasn't my accountability partner, and I love my accountability partner, but I needed that tough love. So as I'm on the cusp of going to Bali, Indonesia to celebrate my double nickel birthday, if my accountability partner would have held me more accountable, then I might be closer to the weight that I wanted to be when I started this journey of exercising at least half the month. But here we are. I'm not as big as I was. I'm not as small as I want to be, but I'm happy here in the middle. And I'm going to Bali. Who knows me there anyway, right? But more importantly, what hard conversations are you avoiding because they're hard conversations, either with yourself or with someone else? And then the next one, which is number 5, you got to get the skills to pay the bills. I was thinking today how I'm on the cusp of headed to Bali, Indonesia for my 55th birthday. And I was like, if you would have asked me 7 years ago where I would be today, I would have said better off dead. I just lost the 4 favorite people to me in the whole wide world, and I was all alone. If you'd have asked me last year where I would be today, I would have said, well, just getting by, keeping my head above water, just working to keep the lights on around here. But if you ask me today, like I said, your girl's preparing to go to Bali, Indonesia. 4 months ago, I didn't even have a passport. Now I got a passport and an international trip plan. I hired a VA this year. In the 7 years since I've been successfully unemployed, working my home-based business, I never hired a VA. And then I hired one in April. And when I tell you my VA, Ryan, is invaluable to me, he makes my life 1,000 times easier when it comes to the stuff that he's doing that I no longer have to worry about. And then the last thing, if you would have asked me about the last year. The reason why I would have said trying to keep the lights on or keep my head above water is because I had no idea where my business was going. I was doing 3-day challenges, which I gave up in 2023. And for the rest of 2023, from like April 2023 until basically June of this year, I was still trying to figure out what am I doing? People weren't signing up for my course. They would come to the 3-day challenge, and then when the challenge was over, they were like, "Oh, but this is great, thanks." And then they would say stuff like, "Oh, well, I know you'll do it again next month." And I was like, okay, we got to put a stop to that because there was no real sense of urgency. So between March, April 2023 until this year, I've sold courses here and there, but I've never had the level of success that I had from 2020 until 2023. So I had to kind of figure it out. My business was just keeping me afloat. Things were just not clicking the way I wanted it to, which meant I had to invest and find a coach that was going to help me next level my business. As I said before, every next level of success requires a new version of you. So I had to get a next level of me, a new version of me, and that was only going to happen if I paid for the skills that I needed that I didn't have, because what was working for me from 2020 until 2023 just wasn't working anymore. And even though, again, people have seen me, they follow me, some people just need time to pull the trigger, but that recurring, consistent income, it just wasn't there. So when I decided to invest and find somebody who was going to help me get to the place I wanted to be, the next thing I knew, I developed a whole brand new piece of software that I created with the help of my amazing development team that helps speakers find the right stages for their message. Since I created that software, again, with the help of an amazing development team, that software has been paying me like, what is it, butter on toast since June of 2025. I've made more money from June until now than I made like 4 times, almost 5 times more money from June until now than I made for all of January, February, March, April, and May. So I've made almost 5 times more in 4 short months than I did in the entire first part of 2025. But that only happened because I upgraded my skill set so I could upgrade my knowledge base so I could provide what my audience needed and wanted to see the next level of success. And then there is number 6, the price you are unwilling to pay. Now, I get this a lot. And one of the things I do for the people who attend my webinars, I send them a survey and I send them an Amazon gift card if they complete the survey. And one of the questions is what stopped them from buying. They didn't say my software isn't valuable. They didn't say that they didn't think they use my software. They didn't say that that my software isn't what they're looking for. Resoundingly, 75% of the people said that they just aren't in a position to buy. And it's not like, software is super expensive because people find the money to pay for what they want to do. You do it, I do it, right? So, but they said they just didn't have the funds. And I'm not going to lower my price to match their budget. I just need to vibrate at a higher frequency to attract the people who not only see the value, but know that this is what they need if they want to be a booked and busy paid professional speaker. So being unwilling to pay to up level yourself will always keep you below where you want to be. I did a video of this a couple of weeks ago where I talked about how every time I up leveled myself, things changed in my business and changed in my life. So the price that you're unwilling to pay is the reason why you're stuck. If you think you're going to go out here and watch YouTube videos or go to all these free trainings and get everything you need to get to the next level in your business, well, my friend, you are in for a rude awakening. Everything has a cost. I was listening to somebody yesterday and they were saying to be a physical therapist, it takes 4 years of college to be a physical therapist, and then another 3 years of some sort of medical training to actually become a physical therapist. So if you figure somebody graduates from high school at 18, they'll be 25 years old before they can even start making money in their field. 25 before they make their first time. And they're going to be in a shit ton of debt unless they have rich parents or somebody who's sponsoring their education, or they're really smart and they got scholarships. But that's such a small percentage of the people who go to college. The majority of the people for any degree, including myself, my first degree cost me almost $40,000, and my second degree cost me more than that. But luckily for my second degree, my job paid for it, and I was working, so I was in a better place for my second degree, whereas most people aren't, right? So if you're going into the medical field, you got to go through college, then medical school, then a residency before you actually start making the money as a doctor. And it just baffles me how people still fall into that trap of formal education. And I'm not calling it a trap because it served me well throughout my life and continues to serve me well, let me add. But at the same time, nobody has any whatever, I can't think of the word. Nobody balks. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody balks at what it takes to go to college. But God forbid I ask somebody to pay $29.97 to get my course on how to use magic marketing so they can master AI genius and content marketing. And that's not everybody. It's just a certain segment of people who actually are the butterflies. Butterflies that I call them are people who float from one flower freebie to another flower freebie, never staying long enough to get the results that they want because they don't invest. And so people invest in the college education before they'll invest in their business skills. I'm telling you, one of the reasons why you might be stuck in your business or your life is because you're not willing to invest. I invested over $3,000 to have a Cadillac treadmill, and then I invested another 200 to get my home Pilates machine, and I pay a monthly fee to get access to their school group so I can do the workouts that come with a Pilates machine. But none of that would happen if I did one. None of that would have happened if I wasn't willing to pay to play. So that's number six, is why you're stuck. You're not willing to pay to play. And number seven, which is mine, not Byron Golden's, number seven is you aren't sick and tired enough of being sick and tired. Once you get sick and tired of being where you are, trust and believe me, baby, you will take the next step. And that, my friends, is how you get unstuck. So let's do a quick recap. Number one, there's lessons you haven't learned yet, right? So you got to start getting those learning those lessons so you can move forward. Again, take yourself as far as you can and then get some help to go further. Number two, there's stuff you've been avoiding. What is it that you're putting off because you just don't want to do it? Number three, things you don't want to think about. Think about them, people, because the fact that you are not thinking about them doesn't mean that they're not there. Number four, having those hard conversations, either with yourself, your spouse, your kids, your accountability partner, whoever it is you need to have that conversation with so you can get unstuck. Have the conversation. Pull the Band-Aid off. Trust me, it'll be okay. You'll develop a scab and everybody will go on with their lives. Number four, the skills that you are resistant to develop. What is it that you're resistant to do, right? Is it because you don't want to learn how to do videos that you don't do videos? Is it because you think AI is too complicated that you're not trying to use AI? What are the skills that you aren't developing because you just don't want to? Number six, the price you are unwilling to pay. And let me put a caveat in this. It's not just about the money, it's also about the time. Because you can pay for something. I've had people pay me for my coaching and show up to one call in 90 days. Like, I've seriously had that happen. And I used to be the type of coach that would send out reminders and hey, where are you? And then I thought about it. If you got that kind of disposable income, thank you for spending it with me because I can't drag you over the finish line. And then, of course, that was number six, the price you're unwilling to pay. And then, of course, there is number seven. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's today's Wednesday Wisdom. I hope you got value from this. I hope it helps you get unstuck. And if you want my help getting unstuck in this digital marketing space, I'm going to put a link to my calendar. This is a non-salesy, non-invasive call for me to see where you're at in your business, let you know how I can help, either with my courses or something free that I have out into the universe, or point you in the direction of someone I know who could better help you get to where you want to be. When I say better, I mean better than I can because I don't know everything, but I know what I know. So thank you for watching. I hope you got value from this. I hope you use this to get unstuck. I am Cecelia Faye Morris, also known as the Digital Marketing Maven, and I help online business builders and network marketers using automation, AI, and Facebook to make money online. And don't forget, wherever you're watching me, give me some likes and love, drop a comment, share this video with someone who needs to be unstuck. And if it's YouTube, click that bell so you get notified whenever I post something new. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.